Right, oh, Tommy the Rasher East. So, got the commutator shaft all back from the machine shop. Got a new bushing fitted in the brush plate there, that's what it's called, end plate. That was the old one there. So we went for phosphor bronze, and that was the bushing we took over there, and we got one fitted in there as well. So that is about as much as we can do with this to make sure that it's running fairly true. So we'll start putting it back together. Right, so we have our parts here, small parts here. We need to start looking at the Bendix now. So we had a bit of, it was probably mentioned, you know, never really stripped these down. I think once before, but it's always a little bit daunting, you know, when you're working with a part that you haven't really worked with before. Now, yeah, so before we forget, we have to fit this on, and that fits on in there. So I've got some high temperature grease here. I think it says up to 140 degrees. So look, I think that's going to more than cover. So I'm going to put a bit of that in there. Lithium grease. We'll just put a bit up the shaft as well, because I want to make sure that Bendix can do its thing as well. Nice and easy. Without any issues. So probably have to lift this a bit in the vise. I don't think there was a truss rod on that, a truss bearing on that. Right, that feels good. I think we're the right way there. Let's have a quick look here and see. Why is it a little bit? Oh yeah, there we go. There we are. Feels 110. Okay. Now, as I said, I wanted to be careful here. I'm not closing the jaws of that vise, and I need them solder joints there. Now, I'll bring the camera back a bit because we're a bit in close. Okay, so we'll take our time. Let me put our godama at the lock on this show. Okay, have a feel of this now. Okay, work up a bit of that grease. Won't need much. Let's put a bit on. Lovely grease. Okay. Now we have a Woodruff key to go in. The Woodruff key is this side here, so we'll move you around. You may as well be looking at it rather than looking the opposite direction. Let's get the camera just to focus on where we'll be working. Grab our Woodruff key. I think I'm doing this in the right order now. Okay. So turn this lad. Whole job lot comes up. And if we've done that the right way, we should be able to put in our little bone lad, whatever we want to call him. Okay, our bone lad is just there. So we lift the whole lot up, keeping everything in line. Get our bung here, he should be there, he is. Now this looks like a pin to me. It doesn't actually have any we'll say threads or anything, so look, we'll put it back in the way it came out anyway. Literally just pushes in, and then your whatchamacallit, your snap ring then holds it in place. I just realised. So yeah, we are following the rare Kayla. We're learning as we're going along. Okay. Lovely, and we might just grease up the Bendix there while we're at it. Doesn't really need it, but we'll give it a go. I think I gave this a good polishing up before. The wire brush on the drill. It's important that when the engine starts, it's able to shoot that forward, out of gear, out of the ring gear on the flywheel. Okay. Lovely. Now we have a little tang there, and that will line up with the tang here. That tang there. So put him in. So this isn't as daunting now as I thought it was going to be. The main daunting thing about this for me was I thought it was going to be savage pressure in that spring. Now our snap ring is here now, so we want to put that on. I think it was a way I did this before. I think I put it like that. Wait till we see that long piece. Yeah. So I'd say it probably wants to go on something. I know I turn it then. Okay, this isn't going to be too bad, I don't think. Okay, of course I don't have a screwdriver with me there. It's just a bit awkward, but there you go. Now, just looking at, I'll get the camera to focus down a little bit there. It's probably a way this wants to be. I'd say something that, I don't know, is it meant to be like that? Seems to be nice and steady there. With that tang there, kind of hanging there, because there's no, it's a straight edge there, so I'd imagine something like that would be good. What we'll do is we'll just tap him around ever so slightly there. I'd say we are golden there. Right, so there you go, there's the Bendix. That was the bit that, when you see a spring like that, you think straight away, I think straight away anyway, that we're in for a lot of pressure. That feels 110 there. Brass saw still a shin. Okay, we're making headway. Now, best way to grab this. What can we see now? I want to go. I think I'll just leave it sit in there if it will. It's not ideal, I don't want to go grabbing any gears or shafts or anything like that. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, so I just want to give that a final polish up at Scotch-Brite there, make sure it's all the grease and stuff with my greasy hands. Don't go filling in all them kind of little lines between the connections there. Okay, so we have two truss washers. So I gave this a good cleaning down here, as I always do, because even a burr on that or dirt or whatever will keep it up a bit from there. And what you end up with, of course, is you end up with a little bit of extra end play in the commutator shaft then. So I smear a little bit of grease just to help keep the moisture out, and very small amount. And I'm going to put some grease down in those threaded holes as well for the long bolts. Just a touch, because this is a maintenance part now. It does need a little bit of maintenance every now and again, and I have a feeling I will have to do brushes in it at some point. They're a little bit more difficult to do in this than they are in the dynamos, because you can, there's only a screw holding them in dynamos. This, it's kind of soldering in and all that. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So we got a dimple there and we got a dimple there. Okay. So we'll just sit it down over that nice and easy. Where's our dimple? Will she? There she is. Okay, nice. We lift up our two field coil wires with the brushes on. Okay. That is okay. Now we have our brush plate here. So yes, we need to get a bit of grease on in there. You can kind of go now and put plenty in there because it is open here at the back. So make sure we put plenty in there. And it can come out the back all at once. Having plenty there will just keep the moisture out anyway. Lovely. Okay, so now we can start fitting our springs on here now. So they go down like that if I'm not mistaken. And what you do is you twist them up and over. Oh, wrong way around, of course. What am I doing? It always confuses me. I'll get it now in a minute. We needed to finish there. Bam, bam, bam. So that's not going to do it that way. That's not going to do it that way. Always confusing me. Maybe that's not tension enough that way, is it? Just doesn't feel very. We'll try another one and see if we manage to get it fitted the right way. We'll get this camera to focus down a bit. In she goes. They've got the slide in and out grand and easy. That's important. Come across some of them now and they're in utter. They're like completely. That's the way it's meant to be. And yeah, pull her back up and over. Yeah, it's meant to be a bit of bloody tension on it, surely. Like that. I like them to go right in the middle of the two wires to get a nice even push on the brush. Okay. So let's try and emulate that. One of these for a particular side. I never thought so. I don't know. I will get it now in a minute. That's not going to do it. That's going to do it. There we are. That's going to do it that way. And then try and open up the two wires like that, so you can get the laddie buck down the middle there, if possible. It'll be a little bit awkward. Snouty pliers might have to be used. We'll see now. Yeah, I'll get the snouty pliers at that, and we'll get him home. It is worth putting the time into these. Otherwise they just wear unevenly then, and they wear uneven, and they'll wear out your brushes quicker. Okay, so that's just a little, sitting just a little bit far down. So we'll get it right in the middle there if we can. Yeah, have another look at that one there, and that's looking good. Yeah, so there we go. Lovely. Okay, now starter has 4 of these to fit, the dynamo has 2. So it's a little bit in harder, so we get our picks that are ready. Now there's ways of doing this where you can literally have them springs just sitting out of the way. So they go in and out easy. Yeah, but before we do that, I want to fit my truss washers on. I found another truss washer here. So I want to see if this is actually going to be a better job. No, it's not. Question is answered. No. They're the ones needs. So we'll just have a feel of that. We'll push down them brushes there for a minute. Just have a feel and see how things. Of course, we have our bloody things in the way here. Just have a feel of that. Push back our brushes there. Get one to hold. And get the other one to go back. Okay. A little bit awkward. Imagine what it's like bloody 4 of the bastards. Anyway. Have a feel of, there's probably a load of stuff in the way here, is there? Wires and stuff. Something's stopping it going down anyway. Yeah, no, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put it back the way it was. It's going to be the easiest. So let's put a very, 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 very small amount of grease on those truss washers because we don't want this all getting all over the commutator. That's the last thing we want. So now we're going to have to think now about how we're going to work 4 of these, holding 4 of these bloody brushes back so we can get this back on. Maybe we're better off trying to do that trick. I have to take off this plate here, and I feel I probably will. Just no harm. Yeah, and a flathead. Right. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this now without this opened. But we'll get it. Work out what size this is. 11/32. Lucas likes their 11/32. Not many other nuts or bolts are that size, but look, that's okay. Loosen them off. I think I made a paper gasket for under here. I'll keep the old wetness out and the dampness and all of that. Apart from that, it's the original bolt. Okay, lovely jubbly. A whole lot coming off it is. Okay. Yep. Happy days. So now we've a little bit better of a view here of things. Still not going to mean we're going to get out of having to try and get 4 of these back. Sometimes I try and just work it that they just sit like that. They just sit out of the way, ready to clip back in and then we can do our final little centering then when she's back in one piece. I can do it from the main body of the starter there. So some of these are just going to be a little bit more awkward. So that one doesn't want to do it, I don't think. Can't persuade him to, no, he's not going to, so we'll let him off. Right, so we've won there anyway. So that's one. Okay. Yeah, I keep confusing myself every single time with these, and we're not in frame. Apologies for that. We're not in frame at all. No. Okay, so. Okay, once I stop confusing myself, I can make sense of it. Now, yeah, makes perfect sense now. Finally, right, we'll get it. So picks at the ready. Find out where your input is in relation to these. Okay, one casualty there, so try and find him. Oh, put him back on. Okay. Right. Now, okay, so we'll go again. These. Right. So in with our with one wire. The other side, another wire. Okay. Not too far because it'll twist like so, like it has done. This is the bit. I'm sure there's people that have been, damn it, that springs are to falling off again into the second starter. Right. Great fun of a Saturday afternoon, I can tell you. Okay, we'll just keep trying until we get it. Why do I think that springs on backwards? It's not, no. It just needs to go behind the power in. Okay. Now, I've done this a few times, but I can tell you one thing, this time seems to be a right little nuisance. So I'm going to just do a little bit more recording here. See, and I'm most likely going to be frustrated, and that's when I'm going to stop recording. And I'm going to come back when it's magically done. But I'll do a little bit little bit, just in case we get lucky. Okay, so we're not too bad if that clip held down. If that clip held down, that's the problem. It's very hard to push. You need to have serious pressure not to keep it going down over the commutator. Okay, we have another brush going back. We do. Oh, we have another one there. But still something. This little bio here still has to come around. Okay. So we're not looking too bad. There we go. We didn't have to stop the recording. Okay. So now we just make sure that the wires are clear in the cap, so that it'll be able to close properly. Okay, the whole way around. Lovely, let's have a quick look in behind here. Push the wires down out of the way. Otherwise we'll have a starter that's a bit wonky. Okay. Fishing them wires down. These ones I'm at here are just negative anyway, so it won't make a difference if they touch the metal, but it's just the problem being they end up catching in here. So just a little push in the right direction there now should do that. Okay, nice and easy does it. Okay, we're starting to look a little bit better. Slowly, slowly, slowly. We can start lifting up. 1, 2, 3. We've all of the brushes down along the commutator, so we can start lifting our springs now into the middle, which is proven to be a little bit challenging in some cases here. Okay. You need to have about 3 hands here. Right. So we're starting to look a little bit. So there we have, we'll get the camera to focus first, and you'll see there now she's just starting to look good there. We'll do a bit more central. Okay, so let's move to the next one here. Right. So this spring has gone right around, so I have a bit of a job getting that to come. No, it's coming. I think it could be a bit awkward now. Right, yes, yeah, that's okay. Right, now get her into the middle there, between the two of them. And that has a nice little grip on it there. Lovely. So that's good for number 3. So now, cost me a tenth of an each to this side here. Get a look in there and see what's going on. Okay, this spring here is just, as you can see, sitting at the bottom there, so that should be alright. Should be able to work in between the 2 wires. And a little push up. And she should stay then between the 2 of them. Okay, so if it goes too far up on the holder, it'll want to go moving a little bit off centre, so we'll try and find there now where she's happy. Right, that's good, that's good. Okay, so now with that all looking good there. I don't know what's holding it up still. I don't really know what's holding it up still, unless it's just the bushing, is it? Or wires are out of the way, I think. Just to pull them down out of the way anyway. Okay, that's out of the way, that's out of the way. That's out of the way. That's so is that lad there, he's insulated. Okay. Make sure. So I would like this to clip back down. Wait till we get a socket. It's very bloody solid now, doesn't want to move. Okay, pure typical. You go, had this apart before and there was no problem. Let's see, there's a pull together a little bit now. Things are getting fairly high there in the vice, so let's see if we can pull that back together. It's like usually a clip. Yeah, it's coming together alright. Now just a quick look inside to make sure everything is happy. I think everything looks good. You usually do just feel them kind of pushing down together, like, instead of having to pull them. See what's kind of a little bit strange in there. This lad here, what he's attached to is after going a little bit crooked. Now it should be okay, but at the same time it's just one of them things. You can get a plastic hammer at it there now, wherever I put it. Quick last look in there, make sure. I had to do a bit of soldering off camera. Okay. I had to do a bit of soldering off camera on the input there. I'll try and get it to focus. No, it's just not happy to focus, is it? You can see the lad is just a little bit bent there. So it just fits up into that lad. There's a slot and I wasn't happy with that, so I just soldered it into it, but it just seems like it's pushing it down a little bit more now. It's okay, it's probably fine. I probably straightened it anyway to help solder it, but just wanted to make sure it wasn't hitting it. But anyway, I think we'll just put it down the bench here, give a little look over it now and see. Are we happy? Okay, so our bendix anyway looks good. Okay, the camera decides it wants to focus. Our bendix looks good. Right, it's all good. Feels really good to turn it. Okay, that's turning away good out there. Right, on this side here it feels good, as you would expect. So we have a few more little bits to go on here, like our insulator. I think that should fit on there. Am I right in saying so? I think that went on in there some way, shape or form. Didn't. Need to figure out what did go on in there. I'm fairly sure it was that. So it was. I thought it was. That was the closest, because you can see the gold paint on it. Yeah. A little bit crooked. Unless there's a side that it likes going on. We'll work on the inside one first. Try and see if we can get him to go home there. I don't remember it being on that crooked. I'm going to push the screwdriver to see if it'll oblige us. It's crazy, you take these things apart and all of a sudden they're just a little bit different. Right, we'll take a look and see. That's gone in anyway. And that looks like it's meant to be there as well. Like that. Okay. Polished up our brass nuts. As we always do. So, okay. Won't go crazy tight with these anyway. Make sure that nothing is touching. Okay, it's not. And then we have that there, and then that, and that, and that's the kind of order. So that should be ready for fitting. Just put on the band. Should be fitted that way there. judging by the bolt holes, and we'll probably go for something like that. Yeah, I think that's roughly what we'll go for there. So we'll get our spanner here. I'm going to tighten up. No, I'm right-handed, so that's not working for me there. Just make sure it's lined up nice and straight so that it's keeping the mitre out exactly where we want it to do. Ah, it's not too crazy tight, just doing its thing. Okay, so that's ready for fitting, so let's get it fitted and let's see if it works. Let's fit it. I just put a spring washer on each of the bolts because the wires, there's no spring washers on them. These aren't the kind of bolts you want getting loose, and that thing rattling around in there to make shit itself. So spring washer top and bottom, tighten it up. She should stay put. So it's going to give this a bit of a clean up because it's gone a bit oxidized, as you expect. I want all the power going into that starter as we can get. Okay, spring washer and nut. That's that. Nice original style cable. Great connections on them ringlets. The way they did it, a bit of solder them as well. No, crazy tight with this. Now, little feel there, a little bit more, keeping an eye on the inside nut. That's not turning with you. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully now this will do its thing. I'll just throw the petrol in it. Hasn't started in a while, the radiator's still off it because it's getting reconditioned. But we'll set up for a quick start. Just have a listen to that starter and see if she's spinning her good. And yeah, I'll come back then when I have a drop of petrol thrown in it. Okay, let's do a quick tidy up here. It's going to fall. Okay. Not really hitting that. Let's put the battery lead back on because I had that off with the starter. Just in case something else. There's not that probably would unless I turn the key, but still. Okay, good. Okay, she didn't like choke. Anyway, as soon as I took it off. The starter sounds quiet, a lot quieter, so I'd be happy with that. Yeah, I'd be very happy with that. The starter sounds A1. Just have a feel there, make sure no heat on that. Yeah, I think we're winning there, because before, when you looked at this here, the commutator shaft where it comes out of the starter there was an awful lot of over and back and up and down, and she's negligible now. You can barely feel anything. So that's good. So we've improved it. We've put on our spring washers because I'm fairly sure they can get loose over time. And yeah, I think that was worth doing. In other news, wait till we see, we were wondering what this was for. Remember, we originally thought we had our bush, that lad there. He's actually not for a starter. He's for, I should have realised this, only I bought it a while ago. He's for a dynamo. He's for in there. That's what he's for. So that's an open back one, and this is the 39, the C39, that's like the same as the Go Belly. So that's the lad there. Now it's a little bit harder to get out, as you can imagine, because you can't push him out, you can't tap him out with a drift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back of this off the Go Belly. I'm going to get a loan of a tap. I'm going to tap in threads and try and use a nut and a bolt then to pull it out, and we can tap in the new one on the Go Belly. So that'll be another video. So depending on how long this takes to do, I might easily one of the evenings go and try and get that done, because I've bought a bearing for the front of them as well. I've got two bearings. I'm trying to think, do I have one to actually compare with? I've got two bearings here for the dynamo, and they're apparently the right ones. So we could go, and now that we've our starter done with bushings, we could go and do a bushing and a bearing in the dynamo, and that would mean our starter and dynamo then would be completely overhauled, would say, because I put new brushes in that. So that is all we could do with that. So that's another thing I'm going to do, put a video of it up. So hopefully to be a help to people. So yeah, there we go. That's how you do it. Well, machine shop did the bushings in the end, but it was only €35, so I don't think I was overcharged for that. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave the video. So that's doing the bushings in the Ferguson 20, Ferguson 35, Massey Ferguson 35 petrol engine starter.